Shalom. Koholo Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha HaKadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name is Barad Debal, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. Especially to you so called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Title of this lesson is let's think about it. Um, we are in a time where many people, you know, um, are in the know as far as seeing how the elites are moving on the earth. A lot of confusion, a lot of misdirection. You know, they um, they're at war abroad, or war at war with the citizens and the people here, but they have an agenda. And all of this, through all this war and confusion, through all of this heartache um, and strife that they've actually pushed on the earth, um, where we're talking about Leviticus community, talking about the same sex community they pushed, um, people um, cutting their members and changing themselves. This thought is actually coming from, watching Elder Yashawama's video. It's the News and Prophecy of how they're getting closer and closer to um, pushing their one world agenda, where they're planning to have, Revelation 13. We bring this out because we're getting closer to the Qur'an, where they're looking to have everyone implanted with a mark within their right hand or their forehead, as has been coined the MOTB. For those that are in the know, you know. And so, why do I say let us think about it? Is because these same people who seem to put their AI, um, seem to now use the Bible, um, the Christian nationalist agenda, bring forth. We're finding more and more anytime they start speaking anything Bible, that they actually are setting themselves up for war. And these are just some things that I've seen and many of the brothers have brought out, especially the elder. Anytime they start to mention anything in the scriptures uh, or touch the Bible, they're using it for war. And so these are the very people that have enslaved and terrorized the so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians into this very present day. So what makes you think that they're gonna miraculously change? Actually, there's a thought that just came to mind. This is the book of. Let me get this in the KJV. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, verse 23. It says, can an Ethiopian change his skin, or a leopard his spots?" Okay, when you look, brothers bring it out all the time. If you shave down a leopard, and you see the spots, if you shave them down, um, the spots that a leopard has, it's embedded in them, just like your thumbprint, right? Those spots, when the fur grows back, it's going to grow back exactly the same, because it's deeply rooted within that particular animal. So it says, "Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil." And Esau is accustomed to do evil. Let's look up this word accustomed. To make familiar, with something through use or experience. So their experience and the things that they do, um, they introduce, initiate, familiarize. They wear evil as a chain, as a garment. This is part of who they are. This is what the Lord created them to be. All right, mainly the whooping stick of our people. Okay, they were created to do a job, and they've done it and have done it to perfection. However, the Lord soon and very soon will remove them from their position. So let's get some scriptures. This is just again, let's think about it. Okay, these people, this is have a hatred for us. This is really I wanted to get here. Let's start here. Um, Now Mount Seir, of course, this is dealing with Esau, Edom. It says, moreover, Ezekiel 35, verse 1, moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Okay, Mount Seir was the, modern times where Esau, Edom, roamed, his place. Now, his place is um, the Americas, the Israel. Okay, really, he has currently the whole earth. Okay, as it says in Job 9:24, the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. And as we get further and further um, to closer to Yahweh's return, and and the prophecies are becoming more and more clear. Also, the scriptures, Yahweh Bashmi Shai's word, is becoming more and more evident. Okay, um, it says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Why? Okay, he's going to explain. He says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. So right now they're on their high horse. All right, they're in the top of their pride. They have the whole earth, and the things that which they had been doing for a long time, for many many years, have have gone without anyone um, really coming against them. Being able to, like it tells us in Revelation, who can roughly paraphrasing, fight against the beast. Okay. Well, the Lord has set him up, and He's going to be the one to bring him down. Verse 5, it says, because thou hast had, and this is the reason, a perpetual hatred. Now, perpetual is like long continuous, right? Remember we mentioned before, this is a thing that's embedded in them to be violent, okay? But his hatred, is also infused in that. Hatred for who? The children of Israel. He says, and had shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. All right, and we have done many violence against our brother Jacob, dealing with the force of the sword. Okay, that they've done to the natives that were here in the Americas. Look at it today. The natives who were here first, um, they no longer have control over this portion of Americas. It was stolen. John 10 verse 10. For the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. And that's been throughout all their history since Esau has come into power. So let's think about it. What would make them change all of a sudden and look out for the masses of the people? All right. And it says, in the time of their calamity had an end. It says, verse 6, he says, therefore, as I live, says the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. 6, thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. See, because when you look at the history of America, the mass shootings, mass the serial killers of the earth, the pedos of the earth, the the animal cruelty and um, lewd acts of the earth. This is being done and ran um, predominantly by Edom, the so-called white man. Now, as the scripture tell you, as the leaders are, so are his officers, right, and the people are just like them. So that's the vibration that's going out throughout the whole entire earth since they have been in rulership, and we have not had a sense um, at any point that they've done anything good for the people. Why? Because the scriptures say, you know, uh, when he does good, he does it. Um, he pretty much does it unwillingly. Let me see if I can find it. If I can get it to come up real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up. Maybe this will be one that I got in mind. Let's see if it'll come up for me in Proverbs. Let me get this. This is an example. Um, Proverbs 12:10. It says, "The righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel." So even when they seem to be doing good, right? It's cruel. It's cruelty. Like for example, there was um, a food. I'm not going to mention the actual place because then I don't know what they'll do with the video, but they've been shown that certain factories that held animals, chicken, turkeys in particular, were actually being assaulted, SA'd, by these very same people, and then going out and being sold. So the food itself has also been defiled. That's just one example of many things in which they have done, and you can do the research and look that up and see. Unless they possibly took it down, but I know that I've seen that video where the cruel acts that they've done to many of these animals, and so when they look to be helping, like for example, the man out of the house rule, when they were looking to help the so-called black woman who, when you see in the community that they always talk about that they don't need a man. Well, when you look back at the man in the house rule prior to all this, don't need a man. I can do bad all by myself. This feminist push movement, it greatly affected the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, but predominantly the African American, so-called African American community. And why do I say that? And I'm bringing this tender mercy because they came in with subsidies to the woman. You can get a home, Section 8 for an example. You can get an apartment where you can raise your kids, right? Don't necessarily have to work. If so, very little, and you get food stamps. So they pretty much was the government became the provider where the man is now taken out of the home. Well, at the same time, if you bring a man into the home or your son becomes 18, he has to leave the house. Um, and then the man who's going out and trying to work and find jobs were um, presented, of course, with many obstacles to keep them from getting positions. So we'll just leave it there, you know, because again, you also had an influx of drugs being pushed within the community. So in all of that, this was the tenderness of Esau trying to what it looks like being helpful, but at the same time he's causing a division. Remember in Proverbs, there's these six things which the Lord hate, yea, seven are abomination unto him, and one of them is he that soweth discord among brethren. Okay, so that sowed a discord between the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women. As far as the household, and of course, it gave the woman uh, um, a step up above the man, surpassing the man. They're now working and being still in these positions, and then they look at the woman. I mean, they look at the man, black man. It's like you need to get on our level, not understanding that systematically. Um, Now we do have some of our men who have done wickedly, but systematically there have been things put in place to be a blockage or stoppage from a man to increase within the system. It's pretty much like uh sell drugs or play ball, you know, get into be a rapper. That's why you see an influx of our men going into these type of vocations, if you want to call it that. So let's get this. We're gonna get a, I had a couple more scripts. I wanted to go a little bit longer, but I gotta go. This is Proverbs. I'm just gonna read a few of these because this is just to let us think about it, right? Proverbs 10 verse 2. It says, "The wicked in his pride," which is Esau, Edom, okay, so-called white men, starting with the top elite banking families. "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." They have a device. Um, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, right? He is the um, physical representation of Satan on the earth. If that's the best way I can put it right now. He does the workings of Satan, and one of those things is that he's going to look to place a mark again on all the people on the earth. He's not going to reach his enterprise. However, let's think about it. If he was to do so in the way he acts now, this is what Yahshua was saying. How much more if he was able to gain mass control over all the people on the earth? I think it was Schwab. I think they mentioned, and I could be wrong, but he said, um, and I might roughly quote him. He says you would have a little and love it or like it or something like that. Those who know. It says, "For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth." So when you look at America, what have they done? They've sent billions upon billions of dollars to who? These Amalekites. Where by the time they are born, when they get up to 18 years old, they are millionaires with no debt, schools completely paid for, hospitals paid for, and then they come out, they start off wealthy. Okay, it says, "The wicked through his pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts." So this is a people that's trying to put um, everyone into a digital captivity. Okay, let's just say in captivity, um, the whole world. Okay, the Most High is not in his thoughts. He's not going to be using the scriptures to lead the people aright. That's why it tells you that the Lord in due time will set over it one that is more profitable. Look what's going on today. Many people are dying. Many things are dying. They're in everybody else's land, but yet aren't able to correct and fix the things that are in their own land. So his ways are always grievous. So his ways are always grievous. Even now, in Daniel talks about how he will wear out the saints, which are the Israelites. But yet, you have some of our people is siding with him and will go along with the agenda because they may see an increase or receive an increase early on, but in the end, they're going to get caught into the snare, into this trap. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight, as As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He said, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I will never be in adversity. So this is the mindset that they have. Whatever they do upon the earth, they're not going to have receive any type of recompense, but the Lord is going to recompense them for everything that they've done. And it says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So this is what he's about. And if this is the case, um, we know, that wicked wickedness can only last so long because it tells you the wages of sin is death. So eventually, if they continued on in this enterprise, no flesh would be saved, as Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has said. But for the elect's sake, you know, um, this is why the days are going. Okay, I was almost putting two scriptures together, but there will be no flesh be saved. But the days are shortened for the elect's sake, because if he continued on and we continue to live with these people, you would have total chaos and everything dead. So that's why we need this intervention from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We need the salvation. So I hope that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, and exalting to the like body of true believers. Before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Hakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. Until next time, all those listening and learning to you, I say, Shalom.